Passwords. You can never get them right the first time. Can you remember them all? The variations with a capital, a number, a sign. So frustrating. Passwords are a pain. It's time to move on. Meet MasterCard Identity Check, a solution using cutting-edge biometric technology, either fingerprint or selfie, simply accessed through your smartphone. It's about who you are, not what you remember, so you can live life password-free. But don't take our word for it. This is what users have to say. How does Identity Check compare to passwords? What do users feel about the convenience of biometrics? Do users trust Identity Check?
Whoa.
So would they recommend it to their friends and family? Security in the blink of an eye. That's MasterCard Identity Check.
Anything that gets 93% approval, I am down with. So that's pretty cool. So here we go. Welcome to the first separated track of our IAuth conference. I just want to take about 10 minutes. So we're running a little late, and I have to acknowledge that. But I want to sort of explain how this all evolved. And you know, we're calling it IA squared. That's for, because we brought together the Intelligent Assistant Conference with the Intelligent Authentication. And I think the first two talks really dramatized what is going on here. That, you know, our digital lives are complex, and there's more and more devices that we need to interact with, and it'd be pretty nice to have something assistant, be it living or programmatic or algorithmic, to sort of help us take control of our existence. So O2O, when I was distributing this slide stack, the first question I got was, what is O2O? That's really our online to offline, or the other way around, is have something understand us as we move so agilely around both the real world and the the digital world, and just be understood. And I think the combination of the two speakers this morning showed how important something that is continuous authentication taking place in the background as we cruise through life is to make these things sort of personal. And as you looked at authentication techniques in the past and the technologies to support them, they were universally about security, about access management. Raghav, we played the video. We got it to work. Everybody saw it. And yeah, you got a round of applause. But as we move to having this authentication scheme, is, you know, whether it's by selfie and blinking, or just the idea that because I have the device that I'm supposed to have and I'm where I usually am, I could be authenticated at an adequate level to carry out these activities. Thus, you can make these technologies for authentication simple, seamless, and friction-free. So we built, well, you've seen this a little bit, and they're going through it in detail over in the other room, about the components of intelligent assistance. And just to be very quick, because I think the print's pretty small, the upper band, and this was just published in VentureBeat, well, first in October, and we did a second rendition last week. You have the conversational technologies, or what I call the smart UI, or the front end for the devices and services that we want to interact with, that do the speech processing, support text I/O. That's where avatars are going to live, and the things that we sort of project some personality on. And increasingly, you're going to see sensors that recognize your sentiment and feelings so that they can respond to what we want to do, our intent, with some intelligence. And then the rectangle on the top right and the three rectangles within them really are about, we call it intelligent assistance technology, but people sometimes refer to it as artificial intelligence brought to bear to support intelligent assistance. And then along the bottom, we're fleshing out all of the sort of application layer things you see there. So the blue square on the left are personal assistants, or the technologies that help us take control of the devices and objects that are proliferating on the Internet of Things. And then as you move to the left, they're getting more and more specialized so that assistants become advisors in the context of healthcare or travel or all those things that Geraldine was showing. And then where we've done our concentration over the past year has been in the area of enterprise intelligent assistance, because it's indeed in contact centers that we're seeing investment in technologies that support conversational commerce. And we're also seeing within the enterprise the use of intelligent bots, for lack of a better word, that are on collaboration platforms and messaging platforms that support scheduling and project management and that sort of thing. So in each of those domains, we humans are going to have the assistance of all those technologies that quickly recognize what we're trying to get done and can somehow make sense of all the things that have to move in coordination to do that. Now, IAuth we bring up IAuth in the context of intelligent assistance because we really see a Venn diagram, and I hope you can read these things. So the smart UI is the blue circle on the top, and that's where I was talking about the speech recognition and all that sort of stuff. And then that back end is the AI and analytics, where there are business rules governing how you treat events, individuals, all sorts of things to accomplish the tasks that we want to accomplish. And one flavor of that engine is risk analysis. And you can use sort of the logic that supports sort of understanding the risk involved in interacting with an individual or carrying out what that individual is asking by loading those rules in. And that governs when you bring the proper level of security to bear. And historically, that's been in the family of identification and verification of individuals to support things like fraud reduction, social sign-on, recognizing the reputation of individuals, and that sort of thing. And then I couldn't even tell you what shape that is in the middle, but where all three of the circles overlap is the simple, secure, personal aspects of intelligent authentication. And as we were organizing individuals to take part in our panels over the next day and a half, one of them, and it was, I'm missing the name in my head right now, but came up with the idea that what we're really supporting is the happy path for individuals, as they agilely move around the digital and real world. And it's supported by continuous authentication that's risk aware and conscious of the identity that the individual is claiming. And it really supports this carefree agility that across multiple channels, if it's an enterprise, it's often called an omni-channel interaction pattern. And it supports both online and offline activity. And it leverages sort of knowledge of the history of an individual's activity and quick recognition of intent. So that's the framework. It's the basis or the foundation for what you should be listening for, both in the panel discussions and the presentations over the next couple of days. And we're going to try to bring to bear real-world implementations and use cases for the technologies that we're describing, and also look for the integration opportunities for what we do in our everyday lives as professionals, and where the intelligent authentication technologies have to have their interface with existing security and contact center infrastructure, what different solution providers are offering. And I think what's really becoming important because of the level of maturity or lack of maturity of all these things coming together is that there's roles for system integrators to sort of paper over the gaps or build the interfaces that make things work. And then if we do our job well, we'll be answering questions that you can take personally and bring into your, to meet your own business objectives. And I just have some candidates here that, part of what we're trying to do here is understand when we'll be successful, understand what is indeed measurable of what we're doing, and what the relevant metrics might be if you have a successful combination of intelligent assistance and intelligent authentication. And the other thing is that we really, one of the big changes is when you start thinking about authentication historically, it was all, security and privacy and this, that. But now we're really talking about authentication in a way that creates a better customer experience or personal experience as we cruise around. So that's all I have to say right now. And with that, I want to introduce Angel Grant, who is here from RSA.